Welcome. Today we are going to look at Christian Religious Education K.C.S.E. Revision 41 Paper 1. Thanks a lot for subscribing. Let us start with the questions so that you can answer them and then you mark for yourself when I'm reading the answers. Question 1a. Give 7 reasons why the Bible is referred to as a library. B. Outline 7 teachings about human beings from the Genesis stories of creation. C. State ways in which Christians care for God's creation today. Question 2a. State 6 characteristics of the covenant between God and Abraham. B. Describe how the Israelites broke the covenant they had made with God at Mount Sinai, as found in Exodus chapter 32, verse 1 to 30. C. Identify 6 challenges that Christians face while practicing their faith in Kenya today. Question 3a. State 7 ways which show that King Solomon turned away from the covenant way of life. B. Outline conditions that made it difficult for Prophet Elijah to stop idolatry in Israel. C. Identify 7 qualities of Prophet Elijah that a Christian leader should possess. Question 4a. State 7 characteristics of false prophets in the Old Testament. B. Describe Prophet Amos' teaching about the day of the Lord. Question 4c. Give 6 ways through which a Christian can assist the church leaders to perform their duties effectively. Question 5a. Explain 4 symbolic acts used by Prophet Jeremiah to demonstrate God's judgment and punishment to the Israelites. 5b. Outline the final reforms carried out by Nehemiah to restore the worship of God in Judah. C. Give 5 ways through which Christians settle disagreements among themselves. Question 6a. List 7 duties of diviners in traditional African communities. B. Outline practices in traditional African communities that show their belief in life after death. C. Give 6 reasons why disputes over land were rare in traditional African communities. Answers. Question 1a. Give 7 reasons why the Bible is referred to as a library. It contains many books. The books were written by different authors. It has different categories of books. The books were written in different styles. The books in the Bible were written at different times. The books in the Bible address different issues. The books were written for different audiences. The books are systematically arranged. The Bible was written over a long period of time. Question 1b. Outline 7 teachings about human beings from the Genesis stories of creation. Human beings are created in the image of God. They have the breath of life from God. They have been given authority over God's creation. They communicate with God. They are special creatures before God. They have ability to think. They are blessed by God. They have been given specific place to stay. Human beings are to use the other creation for their benefit. They are to take care of the creation. Human beings are to procreate. Man and woman are to complement each other. That is, provide companionship for each other. Human beings are God's creation. The woman is created out of the man's rib. Question 1c. State ways in which Christians care for God's creation today through planting trees, proper disposal of substances to avoid pollution, cleaning the environment, take care of animals, preventing soil erosion, helping the needy, provision of medical care, protection of human rights, and conserving environment. Question 2a. State 6 characteristics of covenant between God and Abraham. It was initiated by God. It was solemn, permanent. It was unconditional. There were promises to be fulfilled. It was sealed through the sacrifice of animals. The parties entered it willingly. It had an outward side which was circumcision. It was between 2 unequal parties. Question 2b. Describe how Israelites broke the covenant they had made with God at Mount Sinai, as found in Exodus chapter 32, verse 1 to 30. Moses had gone up the mountain to seek for God's guidance. Aaron had been left in charge of the people. Moses delayed in returning, and the people became impatient. Israelites asked Aaron to make them a god that would lead them. Aaron yielded to the demands of the Israelites and made the golden calf to worship. Aaron built the altar at the foot of the mountain and put the calf. The people worshipped the calf and made sacrifices to it. God was angered and was set to destroy the Israelites. Moses interceded on behalf of the people. When Moses came down from the mountain, he was angry with the people and broke the golden calf. The Israelites were given a chance to choose between following Yahweh or the golden calf. Those who followed the golden calf were destroyed. That is, they were killed. Question 2c. Identify 6 challenges that Christians face while practicing their faith in Kenya today. The emergence of splinter groups within the church, the emergence of cults which practice ungodly activities, the emphasis of materialism by the churches, lack of role models among the leaders, open conflicts among leaders and the church members, misuse of resources by the leaders, rise of state-church conflict, confusion among Christians due to different interpretation of the Bible, church leaders not having time for all members, negative effects of mass media, permissiveness in the society, that is moral decadence. Question 3a. State 7 ways to show that King Solomon turned away from the covenant way of life. He married foreign wives. He allowed worship of foreign gods in Israel. He murdered his half-brother Adonijah. He taxed the Israelites heavily for his upkeep. He disobeyed the instruction given to him by his father David to rely on God. He built places of worship for the false gods. He subjected the Israelites to forced labor. He signed treaties with his neighbors for protection. He sold land to Hiram and King of Tyre. He used more time to build his palace than the temple of God. Question 3b. Outline conditions that made it difficult for Prophet Elijah to stop idolatry in Israel. The existence of false prophets who gave false promises to the Israelites. King Ahab had allowed the Phoenician wife to bring the worship of the false gods and goddesses. There were persecution of true prophets of God by Jezebel. King Ahab had allowed the building of temples for the worship of Baal. The Canaanite religion had strong influence on the Israelites. The king participated in idol worship. Baalism made an official religion. That is, Baalism was made an official religion. The idol gods could be seen or touched, so they appeared real. Question 3c. Identify 7 qualities of Prophet Elijah that a Christian leader should possess. Truthfulness, courage, faithfulness, kindness, loving, honesty, responsible, loyalty, respectful, and prayerfulness. Question 4a. State 7 characteristics of false prophets in the Old Testament. They asked for payment for their services. They were self-appointed. That is, they did not receive God's call. Their prophecies were not fulfilled. They spoke what the people wanted to hear. They raised false confidence among the people. They did not speak with authority when challenged. They spoke about doctrines which were contrary to the covenant way of life. Their lives were not exemplary. They were hypocrites, basically. They wanted favors from the kings. They were not ready to suffer for the truth. They undermined the work of the prophets. Question 4b. Describe Prophet Amos' teaching about the day of the Lord. It will be a day of terror and disaster. God will punish the Israelites for their disobedience. He will remember their evil deeds. The land shall tremble. That is, there will be earthquakes. People will mourn. The feasts and festivals will not be joyful. People will thirst for the word of God. People will faint in the process of searching for the word of God. It will be a day of disappointment to the Israelites. The wicked will not escape God's judgment. Question 4c. Give ways through which Christians can assist the church leaders to perform their duties effectively. Giving financial help, advising them on various issues, encouraging them in their work, participating fully in church activities, giving tithes and offering faithfully, praying for them, respecting them, participating in obeying the word of God, defending them against unfair criticism, providing training opportunities for them. Question 5a. Explain 4 symbolic acts used by Prophet Jeremiah to demonstrate God's judgment and punishment to Israelites. Buying a new linen waistcoat and burying it in a cleft of a rock. Jeremiah was not to marry. The reworking of the vessels by the potter. The breaking of the earthen flask before the elders. He was shown 2 baskets of figs, one with good figs and another with bad figs. Wearing of the ox yoke. Question 5b. Outline the final reforms carried out by Nehemiah to restore the worship of God in Judah. Cleansing of the temple, restating of the Levites and other temple workers. He ordered the closure of Jerusalem for proper Sabbath observance. He separated the Jews from the foreigners. He purified the priesthood, that is the office of the Levites, throwing out the household of Tobiah out of the chamber, cleansing the chamber in the temple, returning the vessels of the house of God, appointing treasurers over the storehouses, stopping the buying and selling of wares on the Sabbath day. He ordered an end to mixed marriages. Question 5c. Give 5 ways through which Christians settle disagreements among themselves. They pray over the issue, they offer guidance and counseling to the affected, talking to the offender, by invoking church leaders as arbitrators, forgiving the one who has wronged the other, willing by the offender to accept their mistakes made, withdrawing some privileges for a period of time so that one can perform, by sharing meals through shaking of hands. Question 6a. List 7 duties of diviners in traditional African communities. They predict the future, they warn people about calamities, they intercede for the community, they heal the sick, they interpret messages from the spiritual world, they act as judges in the society, they mediate between God, they comfort the sick in the society, they counsel people with problems, they use various objects to reveal secrets in the society, or basically to expose the wrongdoers. Question 6b. Outline practices in traditional African communities that show their belief in the life after death. Naming children after the dead, invoking the names of the dead during problems, burying the dead with some property, offering sacrifices to the dead, pouring of libation to the living dead, taking care of the graveyards, fulfilling the wishes of the dead, talking of the dead as having gone for a walk, washing of the dead body, holding commemoration ceremonies, burying the dead in particular position. Question 6a. Give 6 reasons why disputes over land were rare in traditional African communities. The elders disciplined greedy people. There were clear guidelines on the use of land. Those without land were assisted to acquire it by the clan or the community. There was enough land assigned to the individuals by the leaders. The wish of the parents of the clan on property ownership was respected. That is, people were hesitant to acquire land unlawfully for fear of curses. Fairness by elders was adhered in land ownership allocation. There were clear guidelines on land ownership. Did you understand? Kindly let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what video I can look at tomorrow. Thanks a lot for subscribing and listening to me. God bless you.